How about them Wildcats? How about some revenge? I think we got to talk about Northwestern taking down Ohio State on the road.
You are Locked On Northwestern, your daily podcast on the Northwestern Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome in. This is Locked On Northwestern, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. We really appreciate you tuning in and making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every day. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find us. We are also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern and you can find us there. Wherever you are listening, make sure you are subscribed and you turn on notifications. You don't want to miss an episode as we continue to put out videos each week. I'm your host, Carter Bird. Also, today's episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. This episode is brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/Locked On today to get started. All right, let's jump into this because this was such a huge game for Northwestern. I really thought the record and the wins would have them a little higher in some of these bracketology setups, some of these predictions, but I think the non-conference strength of schedule is kind of getting to them. But this was another road game, an enormous opportunity against a well-respected Ohio State team, despite the record. They're only 11 and they were only 11 and 12 coming in, but they were a top 40 team in the net and in KenPom. So that should give you an idea of kind of what the country thought about this Ohio State team. The record wasn't great. They lost 9 of their last 10. They lost 4 in a row, but they were still very respected nationally. And, you're in Value City Arena, you're on the road, you're in a hostile environment. You never know what you're going to get, and you better be ready for just about anything. I mean, this is a team that can get hot because they've done it to you before. They've got some solid wins, but they've also got some bad losses, so it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I was very curious coming in just to see where this Ohio State team was mentally in this game after going through it recently, and just felt like they got kind of beat down there for a while. I was wondering how they were going to look in this one, and you know what? They showed up ready to play, I think. But they were 5.5 point favorites, Northwestern, 5.5 point underdogs in this game. Northwestern came in at number 52 in the net rankings, trying to crack that top 50. They were blown out by the same team previously this year. That one was at home, and that one, I think that was New Year's Day, I do believe. And that was rough. That was when I was starting to tell people, I was like, hey, watch out for this Northwestern team. They're pretty good. They're playing some good ball right now. They're kind of rolling going into the new year, going into the main part of Big Ten play. And then they had the worst start of all time in that game as they started like 2 of 24 or something, got down 34-8. Ended up losing the game 73-57. It's kind of an interesting spot for Northwestern to catch them because Ohio State had lost a bunch of games. Northwestern was just coming off the craziest 2 weeks that anybody in the country has had. They had the 8-day COVID pause, and then they had 6 games in 13 days. But they were finally in this game caught up, fully caught up, I guess, in terms of like getting some rest. I guess technically that Wisconsin game was them catching up. But in this one, they're caught up with the schedule after that 8-day COVID pause, in which that stretch they went 4-2 in 6 games in 13 days. I think that is one of the more underrated, like, sneaky things anybody has done this year, because nobody has faced that challenge. You don't even face that challenge in the NCAA tournament. The only thing that's kind of close to it are those early season tournaments or like a conference tournament. If you're like the lowest team in the tournament and you got to run all the way to the championship, that would be, I guess, what it would be like. But they started 3-0 in those 6 games. Were rolling, and then I think legs kind of got to them a little bit. Iowa shot the lights out. Michigan, I think that was preparation and fatigue, lack of preparation and fatigue that got to them there. They got embarrassed at home in that game, but then they bounced back with that win against Wisconsin. Things were looking pretty good coming out of that game. You get the rest, and you come into this game, and you're just thinking, hey, don't dig yourself a big hole like last time. Do not get down 34-8. And honestly, that's kind of been the message I've had for this Northwestern team all year long, is that when you compete from the opening whistle, when you don't dig yourself a hole, you're a really hard team to beat. When you dig that double-digit early hole, or that 26 in this instance with Ohio State, it makes it impossible to come back and win a game. It really does. And you know what? They responded, and I appreciated that. Very encouraged. And we're going to talk about the game in just 1 second. But first, let's talk about our friends at FanDuel. This year, the only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On, because they're the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel. If you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. Download FanDuel now so you can bet Super Bowl 57 with a no sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown. And this Super Bowl, why am I switching back to the Chiefs? I don't know. Chiefs are a 1.5 point underdog. I think at that point, you just take a money line. I think if I was looking for somebody to score a touchdown in this game, I look at Travis Kelce, with the fact he scored in every playoff game so far this year. I feel like he's so vital for this Chiefs team to win. And, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, the way that they scheme people up, they can scheme Travis Kelce up, the way that Mahomes manipulates defenses, and the way that Kelce finds space. I think Kelce's going to get himself a touchdown in the Super Bowl. But you can go bet on all that on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Best of all, you get paid your winnings instantly. So join FanDuel today at FanDuel.com/lockedon to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Also, thank you again for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every single day. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from big name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All right, let's talk about the game itself, because, off the jump, I thought Northwestern held their own. I thought they did. I thought that they were ready to play. Got the first basket of the game on the opening possession. Matt Nicholson getting rolling. Ohio State built a little bit of a lead, but, Northwestern hung in there. and they hung in there the entire time in the first half. The worst point was they let I believe, 8-0 run happen, and they got down by 6. But then you saw them fight back. You saw Nick Martinelli get involved, Brooks Barnhizer get involved, Boo Buie get involved, and then you saw good old Nick Martinelli, who's becoming one of my favorite players, with a beautiful move at the end of half, kiss it off the glass to take a 28-27 lead to halftime. Really was beautiful to watch. I was pumped for him. Those were granted, those were the only 2 shots he hit for the game for his 4 points, but they were 4 really big points in that first half to kind of bring you back from a 6-point deficit, and you end up actually taking a lead to half against this Ohio State team. In that first half, Northwestern didn't shoot spectacular from 2, as their field goal percentage was 42.3%. From the field, 11 of 26, but they're pretty good from 3, 5 of 14. Only got to the free throw line 2 times. Boo Buie going 1 of 2, which is shocking with how well he shoots the free throw. Kind of got dominated on the boards. Got out rebounded 17-10 in that first half. But they limited turnovers. They moved the ball well. They had 7 assists. They were able to limit an Ohio State team who went 0 for 9 from 3. They were able to not get lit up there. Some of that may be Ohio State just missing some shots. They didn't put Ohio State at the line. Ohio State just 1 of 1 at the free throw line. Zed Key with that 1 free throw. But nobody really took off against you. I mean, Zed Key had 7 points. He had 6 boards. He was pretty effective in the first half. But outside of that, Suing had 6 points, and nobody else had more than 4. On the Northwestern side, Boo Buie, 9 points, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. If he gets going from 3, watch out. This Northwestern team is just going to get better. Chase Auddie is really quiet, 1 of 7 from the field, just 3 points in the first half, 1 of 4 from 3. But I tell you what, the guy who showed up in the first half, besides Nick Martinelli, who was 2 of 2 with his 4 points, Brooks Barnhizer. Brooks Barnhizer, 7 points, 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Love Brooks Barnhizer. Just a really, I love the effort. I'm going to talk more about him here in a little bit. I really am, because he's been spectacular here recently. But he had to feel good going to half, up 1, and you come out in the second half and you shoot well. You really do. You go 50% from the floor, 13 of 26. You exact dead on 50%. You build a little bit of a lead, then they make another run at you. They make a 9-0 run. You continue to hang in there. And then this stretch in the middle is absolutely huge for Northwestern. You go quick 6-0 run, you weather a little 3 points for them, and then soon thereafter 7-0 run, and you look up and Northwestern is up 9 points. And from that point on, you withstand a little bit of their runs. That's from that 9:39 mark to 4:44 was really where Northwestern made their move. They went from down 2 to up 9. And then you kind of just hung in there and weathered the storm. It wasn't pretty at times. Chase Auddie got going a little bit. Brooks Barnhizer got going. Boo Buie did Boo Buie things. Robbie Barron got in on the action. But you go 50% from the field in the first half, but you go 7 of 15 from 3, 46.7%. Get to the line 11 times. You hit 8 of them. They get to the line 10 more times than you and hit just 13. They went 1 of 5 from 3 in the second half. So that means they went 1 of 14 from 3. That is huge in a game like this. You keep Zed Key from really, he didn't get to double digits after getting 7 points in the first half. Suing has a great second half. He gets 13 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 5 of 7 at the line. He also grabs 4 boards. Thornton gave you 10 points for Ohio State, 4 of 6, two free throws as well. But in that second half, it was a lot. It was a little bit more well-rounded for Northwestern. Boo Buie, 10 points, 3 of 5, 4 of 4 at the line, 4 assists in that second half. Did have 3 turnovers. Jasaw Deej, 9 points, 2 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 3 of 5 at the free throw line. How did he do on steals? I'm trying to recall. I know he got some. I saw some he got 2 steals for the game, I believe. But he played pretty well. Slow start offensively in the first half, a lot stronger in the second half. Robbie Barron gave you 5 points. He hit a 3. He grabbed 3 boards. But the player of the game for Northwestern, in my mind, without a doubt, is Brooks Barnhizer. Brooks Barnhizer in the second half goes 4 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 1 of 2 at the line, grabs you a couple boards, gets you 12 points, and allows you to win that second half. He really is the fuel to the fire, and he allows you to outshoot Ohio State in the second half. You shoot, 46.7% from 3 for the game. For the game, you shoot 41.4% from 3, 12 of 29, 46% from the floor. Ohio State goes 50% from the floor, but 1 of 14 from 3. You shoot the free throws a little better percentage. They get more opportunities, but you're able to make up the 5-point difference there. You kind of got beat around on the boards, 35-24. But you made up for it. You had 5 fewer turnovers than they did. You should have had a heck of a lot fewer than that. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But you're able to pull out a 69-63 win at Ohio State that is absolutely huge in a game like this. We're going to talk about the takeaways from this game in a second. But first, we're going to say thank you again for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen today. For your second listen, check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Experts Isaac Shade and Andy Patton bring you everything you need to know on and off the court. Plus, hear from big-name experts, coaches, and players throughout the basketball landscape. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All right, takeaways from this game. Absolutely a huge win. Quad 1 win. Beautiful. You're able to move up to number 51 in the KenPom, up to 49 in the net. So you're now a quad 1 win for everybody that's for some teams. You're in that category where you got to be, I think it's top 50 neutral site. I know it's top 30 at home. I don't know what it is on the road, to be honest with you. But that's a huge win against a respected team, a quad 1 win. You're now 6-4 in quad 1. You're 2-3 in quad 2, 1-0 in quad 3, and 8-0 in quad 4. Brooks Barnhizer, player of the game, 19 points, has been huge recently. I absolutely love his effort. He has a grittiness to him. He has an effort to him. He crashes the glass. He gets offensive rebounds. He gets good looks from 3 when you need. He can kind of do a little bit of that Chase Audige, get in the paint and then hit the fadeaway. It's beautiful to watch him play. He's not the most athletic guy on the court, but he gives you 100% effort all the time. Love it. He's going to be huge. You're going to need him the rest of the season. You're going to need Ty Berry to play well as well. Those guys are kind of the 2 guys that if you can sustain success with them, it elevates this team to new heights, and they all of a sudden become one of the most dangerous teams in the country, much less the Big Ten. Nick Martinelli has been really big, especially while Julian Roper's been banged up. He has played critical minutes, and he's gotten stuff done on the court. It's not just massive hole on the team with Julian Roper out because Martinelli has stepped up the way that he has. We got to talk about the turnovers late in the game because holy cow, Northwestern lost their minds and just played sloppy down the stretch and made that game close. And it shouldn't have been. you played a lot better than that Ohio State team last night. But you just kind of let them hang in there. You made some dumb passes. Chase Audige, Boo Booey doing some dumb stuff on inbounds passes, turning the ball over. But you survive, and that is what is important. You advance to 17-7 overall, 8-5 in Big Ten play. 3-game home stretch coming up. Very difficult. Some really good teams. A couple quad 2 games left on the docket and 5 quad 1 games left. So lots of room to build a resume if you want. Probably going to win, 3 to get in the tournament from this point on to lock it up 100%. And, next up, great opportunity. You can basically lock up the tournament on Sunday, because on Sunday you take on number 1 Purdue. And you had Zach Edey and the boys from and the Boilermakers. Heck of a challenge there. We're going to talk about it before that game on Sunday. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. Appreciate you tuning in. Sorry it was a little bit later. Had a lot of stuff going on today. Unable to get on the microphone until right now. But yeah, what a win for Northwestern. They keep the train going. The quest for NCAA tournament number 2 for this program is very much on. They can keep the momentum up. If they can pull an upset on Sunday, we're talking about all but locking this thing up. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun to watch this team exceed all expectations this year. But thank you for making Locked On Northwestern your first listen every single day. We're available wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. We're also on YouTube. Just search Locked On Northwestern. You can find us there. Wherever you're listening, make sure you are subscribed and you turn on notifications. You don't want to miss an episode. I'm your host, Carter Bird. And you know what? I'll see you all next time.